Yeah, that sounds like it's someone else's words speaking through them. If someone admits to something, it's less likely to be true. Huh? This is a previous allegation? There are really people arguing against 1917 Romeo and Juliet laws? Really? That must end there. It must not go further. And if it does go further, you are doing something wrong. Cinny was saying whatever she felt like she needed to say to get that Jack Birdie person to stay. It seemed pretty manipulative. That seemed pretty clear to me. So today, a new video on the Synnibear grooming allegations dropped, okay? I don't know if anyone knows this. I haven't really covered this. I've seen bits of it around. I didn't really want to get into it too much. It seemed like effort and seemed really gay. I don't like alt commentary stuff. It's all very annoying. But basically, this person called Synnibear got accused of grooming because she's 20 and she was making Discord friends that were sort of like 16 down to 14. And then one 14-year-old came forward and showed a bunch of DM logs that featured sexualized conversation as well as sharing of NSFW artwork and talking about fetishes and being horny and all these sorts of gross things that you should not be saying to a child. Now, there was a bit of a disagreement that came out because does it quite fit the definition of grooming, textbook grooming? No, probably not. This person didn't seem to be actually trying to coerce this or prepare this child for a sexual relationship. It's more about a constant, unrelenting torrent of sexual behavior and conversation that does not pick targets between adults and children. So probably not deliberately trying to get this child into a specific relationship with them, but still doing far more than anyone's comfortable with any adult doing with any child online. Obviously, it's freak behavior that would only be okay in the mind of some horrifically autistic, molested, probably art commentary YouTuber who is perfectly happy to sit in Discord and share NSFW artwork all day. So there was a little bit of disagreement because obviously Freaky Bear 09. So because obviously a lot of people were saying the absolute worst thing possible. They were saying this person is like a turbo. Are they like a turbo? No, they're not like a turbo, but they are bad enough to where there's not really like a substantive defense you can mount. It's like this person engaged in a very incredibly morally wrong behavior that is at least negligent, if not, motivated by some malicious intent, some sexual desire, So there's not really a meaningful defense to mount. Regardless, I supported Kumo, okay, who was went on Chud's stream the other week to talk about these allegations and stuff, and was nitpicking over the groomer definition, arguing with a bunch of different people. It was pretty epic. I thought it was pretty epic. But Just a Robot here released a new video that is not epic. Okay, this is not an epic video. I don't want to prime you too much, but we're gonna go through it. Well, it is an epic video, but it's epic for all the wrong reasons. You see, this is crazy new tech in the expose video, in the expose game, because midway through this video, and I'll spoil it for you now, so many people have already seen it. Midway through this video, it switches gears from being about allegations made against a Synnibear person to just being sort of like a friendly call between Synnibear and Jar, Just a Robot, the guy making the video. And he seems happy to be there. So we're going to take a look. We're going to watch through the video, and then we're going to watch the big confrontation that happened on Chud's stream afterwards. Because, and see the logs, of course, that Chud was leaking. Because Chud got a hold of this Just a Robot guy's private DMs with the Synnibear grooming accusee.
Like you're so fucking tough. Like, look, I'm just trying. That's what you literally fucking sound like. Bro.
I was going to make a video talking about a recent document that was released about me.
Wait, does this whole Kumo video have TikTok memes on the fucking video to avoid copyright? I've got the one without the edits, but I think we might stick with this one, to be honest. There's nothing we need on the screen anyway, is there? It doesn't show any evidence.
But the situation has gotten much more
Show the
serious
dog
as
one
I
at
realize
least?
the
Okay.
damage that I've caused.
Another person in the ArtCC has been outed as a bad person. Gee, that's surprisingly new. In other news, there's gonna be a sunrise tomorrow morning. That being said, this situation might not be as cut and dry as you once thought. Unlike everyone—
This is such a stupid little image, man. Saw this guy at the zoo, but it was his first day. He's looking so shy, isn't he? He's looking so nervous.
surprisingly new. In other news, there's gonna be a sunrise tomorrow morning. That being said, this situation might not be as cut and dry as you once thought. Unlike everyone else who rushed out their video on Synny, I actually reached out to her, and she agreed to do an interview with me. Just like with the Pyrocynical drama, the Spockter drama from 2016, and the Hopeless Peaches drama, there was something about the Synnibear situation that didn't feel right. I'll give you two options. You can take the blue pill and just believe the mainstream opinion about Synny, or you can take the red pill, and I can show you just how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Like, why would you open this video like this? It's so lame. It's like he comes into Chud's stream afterwards, and he acts like he went into this with just like, no, guys, stop talking about the fucking dog, okay? He comes into Chud's stream and acts like he walked into this totally impartial, and that he was so unsure about posting this video. He just wasn't sure about it. No, dude. You heard Kumo fight this fight. You picked up the talking points. You thought it was now going to be settled and you'd be able to make the Vindication video. And you went as hard as you could because you thought you'd breathe life into your dead YouTube channel and maybe get some little pussy for some pussy for your trouble too. That's just so obviously true. Exactly. He didn't even read the logs before he made this video. And he's like, he's actually saying, he's comparing it to his previous dramas, not just because he's an autistic freak who can't conceptualize of anything outside of the lens of previous internet dramas that he's been involved in, but also these are clearly big dramas for his channel, big moments for his channel. He's like, oh, just like in those last situations where I got big numbers, this is one of those again. It's like the most transparent shit in the world. He's desperately trying to revive his career and desperately trying to get some e-pussy. It's crazy.
Before I begin, I would like to make some disclaimers regarding this video. Number 1. One of the subjects involved in this video goes by a different name than they used to, due to identifying under a different name and gender. If you know the user by the name of Birdie within the animation meme community from years ago, a drama I actually made reference to in my last video, which I to this day do not know anything about, then you should know they now go by he, it pronouns, and they have changed their name to Jack. This is the ArtCC. Half the people in it are trans. When talking about their drama, I will refer to it as Birdie, but for the rest of the video, I will call him Jack as that is what he prefers to be called. Second, please give what you can to help save my friend's family restaurant. A link to the GoFundMe will be down below. I know it doesn't seem like the time for it, but I promised my friend I would shout it out in every single video until we raise the money for it. And number 3, some of the stuff you may hear me talk about in this video will be a bit troubling to some, but I am going to keep my wording simple and brief, and show evidence that will be highly censored. Now you might have heard of the Birdie drama, back when they were bashed by the ArtCC for seemingly no reason. After all of that drama, they became best friends with Synnibear03, who I will just be referring to as Synny for the duration of this video. They moved in together around 10 months ago, but unfortunately their friendship didn't last. Last time I heard about two ArtCC people moving in together, it was Kai and Omnia, and yeah, we all know how that turned out. ArtCC people just don't move in with one another. It never turns out great.
What are you going on about? What? It's nothing has to do with fucking people moving in with each other. What? I don't know why he always goes on about this stuff. This will come up in the call later as well. Guys, why is this fucking hedgehog Ukrainian? Yeah, Rick the Ukrainian hedgehog. The fuck?
ArtCC people just don't move in with one another. It never turns out great. As for how I first learned about Synnibear03,
Yeah, and lives on Hedgehog Street. 123 Hedgehog Street. What? Fakest ID I've ever fucking seen. You are not getting in the club, little man.
One another, it never turns out great. As for how I first learned about Synnibear03, I first discovered Synni through her video on Spocter. Other than that, I just saw her video on Lio and Peaches, along with the first few minutes of her video on Deadwing Dork. Ironically, Synni brought up that she was moving in with Jack at the very end of her Spocter video.
I'm moving out soon. My original plan was to move out in January, but things have changed. I'm going cross-country to pick up my friend so that we can roommate together. They've been an online friend for a long time, and they've been dealing with a really unsafe living situation for a while now, so I want to go get him. My family has been really adamant about me not doing this, though. They already hated the idea of me moving out so soon, but they hate my roommate even more.
When I heard this, I thought nothing of it.
I understand they're worried for my safety, but the way they've gone about being worried has been really stressful. I need to go on this road trip, I need to help my friend, and I need to make my own decisions. I need to get out of this house.
Remember all of this stuff about Synni's parents not being okay with her moving in with Jack, because it will become important later. As they were living with one another, someone made a
Does that ever become important again later?
The way they've gone about being worried.
Nothing of it.
I understand they're worried for my safety, but the way they've gone about being worried has been really stressful. I need to go on this road trip, I need to help my friend, and I need to make my own decisions. I need to get out of this house.
Remember all of this stuff about Synni's parents not being okay with her moving in with Jack, because it will become important later. As they were living with one another, someone made a document accusing Synni of doing very—
Guys, we have to change version. We have to change version of the video. Everyone is myself included, I am way too distracted by these stupid fucking animals. I just can't.
irresponsible.
Guys, we can't. It's so distracting. It's so distracting.
You act like you're so fucking.
I need to help my friend, and I need to make my own decisions. I need to get out of this house.
Remember all of this stuff about Synni's parents not being okay with her moving in with Jack, because it will become important later. As they were living with one another, someone made a document accusing Synni of doing very bad things with minors. Jack called Synni out for this, it made a video, the video absolutely blew up, and tons of people also made videos on Synni. I, along with many other people, wouldn't have learned about this situation for a lot longer if Jack didn't make its video. There are two docs that compiled all the evidence of what Synni did. The first one has 111 pages.
It's 111 pages long! You're kidding me! You're kidding me!
Sure, it's long, but it's mostly just screenshots. The most severe allegation in this document was that Synni was grooming a 14-year-old by sending them inappropriate pictures. Unfortunately, the doc is so long that most people didn't look at it in its entirety, and if—
So, immediate problem here. He hasn't read the logs in their entirety. All the logs between this Synnibear and the 14-year-old are public. They have been fully exported and made public, and this guy has not read them. Despite making a 90-minute Vindication video. It's insane. It's totally baffling. You're sitting there going, oh, well, no one else even done the research. You couldn't be bothered to read the fucking logs.
If they did, they didn't look at it very carefully. Now, some of you may be asking, how old was Synni when this all happened? Was she 16 when she was talking to the 14-year-old? Or 17? Nope, she was 20, about to turn 21. Like her birthday was right around the corner. The 14-year-old also made their own doc, and it's— oh god.
So that's crazy, no? 20, 21, and 14? Listen, I'll sit here and defend the fucking teenage age gap relationships and be like, oh, listen, guys, you know, just because some 17-year-old and a 15-year-old dating, 18-year-old, 15-year-old dating, whatever, doesn't actually mean one of them is a pedophile or groomer. No, that's not necessarily what it means. I'll sit there and do that, okay? 20 and 14? 21 and 14? Are you fucking crazy? What are you fucking doing?
God, 188 pages long.
188 pages? No! 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 No!
but it's almost entirely just made up of screenshots, so it's not as long as it may seem at first. Now, some of you might say that these screenshots are out of context, or maybe the messages are fake. After all, Discord is one of the easiest websites to use to fake messages. I mean, it's happened to me before, so it might have happened to Synny. But the thing is, those allegations aren't just allegations anymore because Synny admitted to it.
I've been an irresponsible content creator, and I've been acting inappropriately towards my fans. This alone is enough for me to realize I need to make sweeping changes to how I conduct myself and how I interact with my fans. But the most serious thing I've done is I've groomed a minor. I became friends with a 14-year-old after I made a mental note to myself to not become friends with minors again, and I overshared with them. I shared graphic, explicit materials with them when I shouldn't have. I groomed this child, and I knew what I was doing was wrong. And I betrayed everyone who looked up to me. I betrayed my friends. I've done the worst possible thing I could have done, and I'm suffering for my choices.
On the one hand, I am happy she admitted to it so fast, but on the other hand, she groomed a minor! I could go over the proof in the doc, but the drama seems like it's already over.
Materials with them, 14-year-old. I need to make sweeping changes to how I conduct myself and how I interact with my fans. But the most serious thing I've done is I've groomed a minor. I became friends with a 14-year-old after I made a mental note to myself to not become friends with minors again, and I overshared with them. I shared graphic, explicit materials with them when I shouldn't have. I groomed this child, and I knew what I was doing was wrong, and I betrayed everyone who looked up to me. I betrayed my friends. I've done the worst possible thing I could have done, and I'm suffering for my choices.
So, like, it's a fucking horrible argument to have with people. But I'm willing to accept the argument that Synnibear didn't know what grooming really was. Like, what actually, you know, the definition of grooming, like just thought, you know, had a loose idea that grooming equals when adult inappropriate with a kid. And then Jack tells them, Birdie tells them, you groom this person, and they go along with it. I can totally see that. I can totally see that. Difficult fucking argument to have, but I can totally see it.
On the one hand, I am happy she admitted to it so fast, but on the other hand, she groomed a minor! I could go over the proof in the doc, but the drama seems like it's already over. Proof of what she did came out, her roommate talked about it, making the situation blow up, and she admitted to it. It's like that one clip from Rick and Morty.
And now, another quick mystery. I just want to know who could have done something like this. It's a travesty. I did. You see this knife and all the blood on it? Here's my fingerprints. Guilty. I sentence you to life in prison.
Everybody, including Synny.
Dude, these pictures are fucking me up. Is it really worth it? Just close your eyes. I can't, dude. How do you look at the screen? How do you get your attention drawn to the screen by this video and then not just forget what you're thinking about because this fucking picture? It's so fucking annoying.
It's like that one clip from Rick and Morty.
And now, another quick mystery. I just want to...
Also, yeah, why is he using why is he using Erica?
Happy she admitted to it so fast, but on the other hand, she groomed a minor! I could go over the proof in the doc, but the drama seems like it's already over. Proof of what she did came out, her roommate talked about it, making the situation blow up, and she admitted to it. It's like that one clip from Rick and Morty.
And now, another quick mystery. I just want to know who could have done something like this. It's a travesty. I did. You see this knife and all the blood on it? Here's my fingerprints. Guilty. I sentence you to life in prison.
Everybody, including Synny, seems to be in agreement.
Is this in the original video, or is this Kumo's editing? It's Kumo put Erica on here, or is that just there?
Situation, and I big dog. A lot of you want. Everybody, including Synny, seems.
Here's my fingerprints. Guilty. I sentence you to life.
No, that's Kumo has put Erica in.
That she's a groomer, but I think a lot of you want me to be as transparent as possible and go over the two really big dogs. I've seen a lot of false information get spread around about this situation, and I want you all to understand exactly what's going on, because let's be honest here, most people aren't going to go through two massive dogs. The only one defending Synny at all is Kumo, and let's be honest here, he's a guy who everybody hates, so if anything, he probably made the situation even worse for her. The guy is an absolute contrarian, and many people consider him to be a troll, clearly.
Dude, like, how badly is this aged? This Kumo guy must be fucking cheesing right now. Must be cheesing. I've been there.
He's just doing this to stir up drama, but as I was working on my Synni video, I kept on going back and changing a lot of things about it. And once I finished my video on Synni and looked at all the evidence I had lined up, it just didn't feel like a good video to me. I got that same feeling I had during the Pyro drama, the Hopeless Peaches drama, and the Spoctor drama. For those of
It's probably don't even realize that we have a right to their arms.
you who do not know what the Spoctor drama is, basically back in 2018, he was accused of inappropriately messaging minors as young as 13 years old. But he got out of them because he did those actions when he was 16 to 17. Synni was 20, about to turn 21.
We're changing. Look, guys, look, we're not doing this. I will not get through this segment. I will not stay on topic. We're changing version of the video. No, that's it. No, that's it. I'm making the decision. It's too distracting. It's too distracting. I can't fucking sit there and look at TikToks about fucking having a right to bear's arms. And a guy grabbing a bear's little fucking paws and tickling him. I can't handle that. I can't have that flashed up on screen constantly.
But then I noticed she took down her apology video, and I decided to reach out to her because I just felt so uneasy. And after I interviewed her, which I will play at the end of this video, I realized that Synni and all of you were lied to. I've gone against the mainstream art commentary community opinion lots of times. I did it in the Peaches drama, the Antunes drama, and the Toby drama. Granted, the last one didn't go so well for me, but the other two went pretty well. I know 100% that I'm going to get a lot of backlash for making this video, but someone with a sizable audience needs to say something. The first big red flag to me was how quickly Synni admitted to grooming. When it comes to groomers, they never do that. Cosmodor didn't do that, EDP didn't do that. In fact, there's not one single groomer that I can think of that has ever done that. The only person that I can think of who admitted to being a groomer before Synni was Spoctor, but he was innocent. If you've seen my Vincent Skull.
Okay. So this is kind of true, but a terrible fucking argument. So I get the perspective that someone saying the way Synnibear confessed, quote unquote, going, like, it was stating so plainly, I groomed a child, like all this shit. Yeah, that sounds like it's someone else's words speaking through them. That they don't necessarily understand or believe what's being said, but they are saying it because they've been told it's true about them. I can understand that. But just the argument, well, groomers don't usually admit to it, so the fact that she's admitting to it should make you question it. What a stupid fucking thing to say. What a retarded fucking argument. If someone admits to something, it's less likely to be true. Huh?
Video on my old channel, then you know that I've proven that ArtCC people are cartoonishly spineless. Just a little social pressure will make them admit to things that they haven't done. In court, people are allowed to rescind their guilty plea, and that is put into law because humans are, well, human. They can be pressured into saying that they're guilty even when they aren't. Tons of people have admitted to practicing witchcraft because they were pressured into it.
Okay, Jaw, that may be true, but did you actually watch Jack's video?
Yes, and it barely had any evidence at all. It is mostly just Jack talking, and that's pretty much it.
Sock has expressed discomfort with Synni multiple times, and Synni hasn't made an effort to change.
Yeah, there was no evidence in the video, but all the evidence is there. The chat logs were all exported. You've got access to it. You've had access to them. You could have read through the chat logs.
Anything. She made graphic rape comics, including Sock's characters, and sent them to people she barely knew, who then leaked them because she didn't fucking know them. Sock expressed discomfort again, and Synni doubled down and told Sock off because she can cope however she wants, I guess. I haven't looked at the screenshots. I've only heard, like, testimony of this, but it's disturbing.
I haven't looked at the screenshots. I've only heard, like, testimony of this, but...
She has an obsession with Boy to this very day. Before I found out about all this, Synni actually DM'd me last night and said, oh, Boy's yelling at me, because I think she has, like, an imaginary version of him? I don't know. And I was like, why is he yelling at you? And she's like, I don't feel comfortable saying. And then I found out from someone else what she did, and she just wasn't going to tell me.
Some of you may bring up that Jack and Synni were best friends, and it would be in denial about what their friend did. The thing is, though, Jack is very, very autistic. Like, I can't be the only one who thinks it's weird that Synni allegedly groomed a 14-year-old, and Jack somehow makes it about...
We do not want to hear Jar calling other people autistic. Do not call other people autistic, Jar.
Or best friends, and it would be in denial about what their friend did. The thing is, though, Jack is very, very autistic. Like, I can't be the only one who thinks it's weird that Synni allegedly groomed a 14-year-old, and Jack somehow makes it about itself and gets $10,000 in donations. Like, what? How does that work? If that's a rule from here on out, Professor Dreadlock has been messaging minors inappropriately. Now give me $10,000, please. Even if you're moving out, you don't need Professor only $1 in donations.
It's from
like,
here?
What? How does that work? If that's a rule from here on out, Professor Dreadlock.
Dude, Atlas gotta do something about these guys. Atlas gotta do something about these guys, I'm telling you. DMCAs or something. Something's gotta happen. Global visibility block on Persona soundtracks. Some shit like that. It's like they already seem like pedophiles. If you like Persona, you already seem like a pedophile. It's a game about dating teenagers at its core. We don't need these guys running around making it even worse. We do not need the situation being made any worse. We do not need a great game studio's reputation dragged through the mud even further. You pick up Metaphor. I have Metaphor. I've been playing Metaphor. I've played a little bit of Metaphor. I'm in the mine. I'm playing Minecraft. Okay.
Has been messaging minors inappropriately. Now give me $10,000, please. Even if you're moving out, you don't need $10,000 unless you live in California or New York or something. In fact, if you live in one of those two states, $10,000 will only cover your rent for a week. But why couldn't Jack just ask for, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000 and then get a job? Well, that's because it doesn't work. Yep, Synni was paying the overwhelming majority of the rent. Jack needed Synni, but Synni did not need Jack. Synni is working a real job, she's making money, and she's paying rent. Jack for the longest time was on Social Security until he moved. So let me get this straight, we're paying taxes to it, and now we're giving $10,000 to it. It almost seems like Jack had everything to gain by throwing its friend under the bus.
But Jar, the document had all the proof. I mean, look how many pages it had. All that evidence must prove that Synni's a groomer, right?
Who cares what Jack has to do? Like, I don't understand it. Kumo is doing this too. Let's focus on Jack. What? Well, show me something funny about Jack to talk about, and we can talk about something funny to do with Jack. But right now, we're talking about Synni. And whether Jack's begging for money makes no difference to set the allegations against Synni. That's completely irrelevant. The message logs are there. That has an exported HTML file. You can see the raw messages as they just the messages. No document, no bullshit narrativizing, nothing. Nothing that Jack's saying matters. Jack's GoFundMe doesn't fucking matter. Okay, it's very funny and debugging and cringe, but nobody gives a fuck. Doesn't change the allegations. So why the fuck are you bringing it up? You can see the evidence independently. Also, thank you, Chud, for the raid. Welcome in, Chud Raiders. We're obviously covering the Just a Robot video essay from earlier. And, well, all the message leaks and confrontation, everything. So, look forward to that.
Right? Well, actually, no. There's not one shred of evidence that Synni groomed anyone. Just testimony, one of which came from herself, ironically. Now, I want to make this 100% crystal clear. Synni did 100% speak inappropriately around minors. But know who else did that? Pyro.
Recently, to those who are unaware, I've been accused of grooming a 15-year-old boy when I was 19. That I'm some kind of predator and was a...
So, like, yeah, we just saw... He's been on this same fucking point for 3 years. There's this commentary aids video here.
You were watching Just a Robot?
This guy literally has been bringing this up for 3 years. Where is it?
Through the whole Susie Lou. Yes,
would you like to hear his robot voice for the robot?
And it was something that...
Oh.
And the entire commentary
defending something. It was something
called him racist kind of thing. Like he had his character. I don't know anything about that.
I mean, hey, I think the statue should be up, so.
And many other things. Then Turkey Tom released a video on Pyrocynical, and the entire commentary community flip-flopped and started going after Pyrocynical. Then Pyrocynical released his...
Are you understanding what's happening here, Tom? Oh, no, I'm not muted. Okay, so this is like a thing that happens throughout the whole video.
So yeah, he's been bringing up this pyro shit every time he's covering drama for 3 years. I don't understand why.
Oh, how you do?
I do not get it. The weirdest fixation I've ever seen. Pyro did bad things. Why are you even bringing this up? Why would he even give a fuck about this? If he's defending Synni, why would he care about what Pyro did? I'm pretty sure Pyro is, like, in every measure, objectively less bad than Synni, no? Wasn't it? Same age person, except Pyro had the wrong information about what age they were. and Pyro was younger. I think they were both 14. Both of the victims, quote unquote, were 14. Pyro thought the 14-year-old was 16, and Pyro was younger. Pyro was like 18, right? Pyro wasn't 20, 21. He was like 18 or 19. Some dispute about the age being 14 or 15. But either, I think pretty much every metric is like, quote unquote, better in the Pyro situation than in the Synni situation. So why would you have such a stick up your ass about the Pyro situation if you're like sitting here defending Synni on like, every count?
Aware of his age all along. This is categorically untrue and a complete lie. But a few days ago, a poorly written Google Doc has surfaced claiming that I have lied in my response and I'm 100% guilty. I just want to be clear, I have never lied at any point. This document is disingenuous, manipulative, and it fails to include so much of my original statement. This document makes like insane assumptions based on limited and broken evidence. It's not hard to dismantle it, it's just annoying that I have to be the one to do it. These conversations never led to any nudes being exchanged. It was just purely fantasy garbage, something which Ivory himself confirms.
Did he ever ask you for nudes? No. No.
Several of our conversations were leaked online by Ivory. Here's one of the more damning ones.
I'd love for my Sona to be licking at his fat, sweaty ass while rubbing his belly from behind, and then just having him gas all over my Sona's face. That would be so nice. Or if mine was just underneath him, getting railed underneath his huge belly, and your Sona could be gassing non-stop as he f***s mine like, huh? Well, to be honest, I'd pick you up, hug you while... Well, to be honest, I'd pick you up, hug you while rubbing you against my huge, sweaty moobs, then kiss your cheeks, telling you how much I loved you, and then kiss you on the lips and let out a hard, long belch into your mouth.
Come on. I mean, yeah, we shared some fat furry art, we had some weird fantasy roleplay, but there was no sexual interest. There were no nudes exchanged, his name, his appearance, it wasn't important to me. He never once disclosed the fact that he was 15.
You know what I find interesting is there's all a bunch of you guys, I'm pretty sure some of you guys like commentary types, going, oh, Clown's so based, Clown's so based. That Clown just gave Pyro a free pass for inappropriate interactions with minors by reading it in a stupid voice so you retards would go along with it, right? You realize that? That's why all you retards go along with it, is because Clown comes in and says, it's actually fine that Pyro rapes kids. Not that he rapes kids, but you know what I'm saying. You guys just like complete fucking dipshits.
At the time his exchanges commenced. He didn't include his age in his bio until he was 16, but I was not on Twitter between the 28th of December 2016 until the 29th of June 2017, as I was suspended. It would have been a hell of a lot less likely for me to see all but one of these tweets that's been used as evidence in this Google Doc. My Reddit post clearly shows that I was suspended from Twitter at the time that they were made, and that of course leaves the very last one, but like, what are the chances of you catching one specific tweet when you follow hundreds of people? I brought this up in my Reddit post as well, but it's been deliberately left out as some like shit attempt at manipulation.
Wait a second there, Jaw. The Synni situation and the Pyro situation are completely different. I mean, after all, Pyro didn't know Ivory's age.
I think you need to see the next clip after this one.
When Ivory linked me his Twitter profile, the age in bio says 16. This is something I acknowledged in my Reddit post, but to be fair, I probably didn't elaborate enough on it. In retrospect, I never should have continued the furry stuff with him once I learned of his age, even though at the time, I didn't see it as a problem. If it helps for context, because we're being so open here, I'm straight, IRL, like, I have no interest in guys. This is...
And this aged terribly. This aged terribly. You ain't straight. Stop lying. Stop lying, Pyro. You're not straight. Stop lying, Pyro. You lied in this video, Pyro. You're not straight, and you were never straight. You're a liar. You were looking at fucking male dog dick, and you know it. We hate liars here. We hate liars here. We absolutely hate liars. What worse than pedophiles? Worse than pedophiles by far. And Pyro was lying. We seen you, Pyro. Where was it? Didn't he? Yeah, we've seen you. We see you, Pyro.
Just purely like a weird fantasy, and it does not carry over into the real world whatsoever. Of someone who drew like fan art of my Fox character back in 2016, and then apparently replied to them like jokingly saying not thick enough, and then asking for their age, and they said 15. So when people saw this, they instantly drew parallels to the grooming allegation. I asked them for a thick version, and they drew this, which isn't even really that different from previous things they drew before even getting into contact with me. I didn't commission it. What was drawn wasn't pornographic. They'd drawn very similar stuff before, and there was no roleplay here. It was nothing.
And last I checked, we pretty much all forgave him. Synni is a coomer, a gooner, but not a groomer. Grooming requires intent and a desire to get with someone. Synni did neither. If you want to get with a 14-year-old, you have to be a pedo. Now, Synni makes a lot of coomer art, so there must be evidence of her drawing Shota, Lolly, or Cub, right? I mean, the signs were there in public for years. Just take a look at her channel. There are tons of videos where she would make suggestive animations of a minor character from My Little Pony. By that I mean Scootaloo isn't a minor character from My Little Pony, but that she's a minor character. She's underage. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, this is cut and dry. She's guilty. But the fact of the matter is, she made those animations when she
she was a minor herself. A lot of these inappropriate animations of Scootaloo are over 7 years old. Synni just turned 21, so back then she would have been 14. Maybe this is just me, but I don't believe 14-year-olds who drew inappropriate pictures of characters around their age should be cancelled years later when they are an adult. If that's the case, a lot of you minors watching this video better go scrub your DeviantArts. Scrub till the roots is brown. The problem with this is that this is not the art CC, it's the animation meme community. Stuff like this is absolutely normalized in this community. If you're gonna cancel Synni for this, then you better cancel everybody else in the animation meme community. There are plenty of animations that say 13 plus or 16 plus.
Like retarded fucking arguments here. Totally different to release something out, okay? So here's something I do, okay? I will complain about how Nuxtaku, for instance, hangs around with a bunch of people that have strong stances on Lolly. That I know specifically have strong stances on Lolly. Yet engages with Lolly in the most harmful way possible by spreading out broadly into a platform where it's barely moderated with a bunch of children and it being algorithmically targeted at children with your full knowledge. So that's one of the most harmful ways to engage with Lolly. Like, that's probably worse than Nuxtaku jerking off to Lolly would objectively be less harmful to the world than Nuxtaku just doing his YouTube content creation career, posting Lolly to all the teenagers that he posted Lolly to. If Nuxtaku was just quietly jerking off to Lolly, I would have no problem with him. But he puts it all on YouTube and hangs around with a bunch of people who pretend they care about Lolly. So obviously that's a problem. This is sort of a similar argument that he's going for here, but it makes no fucking sense. There is obviously a clear distinction that can be drawn between releasing a perhaps teenage-rated or adult-rated piece of animation into the ether, or even onto a platform where it might be shown to children, versus specifically showing it, deliberately showing it to a specific child in a private context. These are two incredibly different things. You can maybe argue that someone's fostering a grooming environment by releasing a video that's sexualized in a way pointing towards kids. You could say it's creating a grooming environment, but there's a much closer allegation of grooming when you're doing it specifically to one child, privately, in DMs. That is a different thing that's happening there.
Or whatever, and the characters in them are very scantily dressed and do inappropriate things. You can have a problem with this. Hell, you can demand that these videos are age restricted, but you can't just cancel Synni for this and give everybody else a free pass. Plus, a lot of this stuff is no more inappropriate than things I've seen in animes like Fairy Tail and Naruto. Never forget what you were like when you were a kid. You enjoyed Misty when she was in her bikini, you enjoyed Naruto when he did his sexy jutsu,
She's
and
10.
you enjoyed...
Don't say that again, she's 10.
Plus, a lot of this stuff is no more inappropriate than things I've seen in animes like Fairy Tail and Naruto. Never forget what you were like when you were a kid. You enjoyed Misty when she was in her bikini, you enjoyed Naruto when he did his sexy jutsu, and you enjoyed when Fairy Tail just did a whole bunch of stuff. So just so we're clear here, back when Synni was 13, 14, and 15, she made animations like this, and just about no one had a problem with a minor making animations like this on the internet. Hell, judging by the view counts these videos got, I would go as far as to say that people encouraged her to keep doing stuff like this. So if she grew up with people constantly encouraging her to make animations like the one she's made, then it stands to reason that she would do the same when she grew up. But Jaw, that's not the only allegation in the doc, there's plenty of other stuff as well. I hear what you're saying, so let's look at that doc even more. Now granted, the old stuff she did wasn't that bad. Sure, making a 17-year-old uncomfortable when you're 19 isn't good, but it's not pedo stuff in my book. I'm one of those people who defended Call Me Carson, so I can't say she should be kicked off the internet for doing the same. If you would like to know the story book, I'm one of those people who defended...
But Carson wasn't the same thing. Carson was like a 2 or 3 year age gap. This is like a 6 or 7 year age gap. What do you mean?
Call Me Carson, so I can't say she should be kicked off the internet for doing the same. If you would like to know the story between her and the 17-year-old minor, well basically she sent a bunch of inappropriate messages to the minor. She sent a non-con comic to the minor who was 2 years younger than her. The comic includes...
Oh, sorry, wait. This is a previous allegation?
She sent a bunch of inappropriate messages to the minor. She sent a non-con comic to the minor who was 2 years younger than her. The comic included an F&F character by the name of Boy, who was graping Nightmare Sand supposedly for the punishment of molesting children. Lovely. Oh, and by the way, to make everything worse, the OC by the name of non-con comic to the minor who was 2 years younger than her. The comic included an F&F character by the name of Boy, who was graping Nightmare Sand supposedly for the punishment of molesting children. Lovely. Oh, and by the way...
What?
To make everything worse, the OC by the name of Boy was created by a minor.
Ooh, that's bad.
The minor called out Cinny for this, and she apologized and made a promise that she would never ever do something like this again.
That's good.
Now, none of this stuff is wholesome Christian family fun, but it's not that bad. Tons of people have drawn inappropriate pictures of minors' OCs. It's bad, but it's less bad when Cinny did it because she was only 2 years older than the minor. If people don't want you to put their OCs in not safe for work situations, you should respect their wishes. But if you draw your OC as a hot anime girl or a big buff man, you should expect people to draw them in not safe for work situations. Personally, guys, just draw not safe for work of me. Plus, there was a video made defending Cinny from these allegations. It got hundreds of thousands of views, and it was received extremely well. Sorry, but you can't just agree with a video that's debunking allegations, then change your mind on it because new allegations came out. This is bad, but it's a 2-year age gap, and most people only gave her a slap on the wrist for this because of Romeo and Juliet laws.
Protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws.
We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No, it's not fine. We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundation relationship. Statute 2705-3.
Granted, a lot of people don't agree with Romeo and Juliet laws, especially when it involves a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old. After all, a 19-year-old can vote, get drafted, and do a bunch of other stuff, but a 17-year-old is still in high school. What Cinny did was bad.
There are really people arguing against 1917 Romeo and Juliet laws. Really? Are there a significant amount of people out there doing that? Really? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. No one's arguing that. No one's out there arguing that we should get rid of Romeo and Juliet laws for 19 and 17 years old. That's fucking retarded. Everyone thinks that's retarded.
But it's not pedophilic, and she did receive backlash for it. Personally, the biggest problem I have is that she said she would never ever do this again, and she did. However, people are also more forgiving about this stuff when it's over the internet. Me hitting on a 17-year-old in real life is different than me hitting on a 17-year-old over the internet. After all, I can see the 17-year-old in real life, but on the internet, I can't see what they look like. On the internet, I hear someone talking to me. In real life, I see a minor in front of me. Granted, I'm a lot older than Cinny. If I'm talking to a 17-year-old, yeah, I'm gonna get a lot more crap for it. The example I'm giving only works if I'm 19 or 20. But the thing is, as far as I'm aware, Cinny wasn't hitting on this 17-year-old. She was just cooming with them. She would also post gore and say inappropriate things where minors—
Like, just cooming with them? What does that mean? You're having sexual interactions. No one cares whether it's hitting on or what. Like, why are you drawing a distinction there between flirting with someone and just gooning with them privately? People care about the inappropriate relationship with the teenager. That's the issue. I don't think they care whether it's because Synnibear was trying to date the teenager, or whether it's because Synnibear just wanted someone to share porn with and talk about porn with. That's so insane.
Wasn't hitting on this 17-year-old, she was just cooming with them. She would also post gore and say inappropriate things where minors as young as 14 were present. Sure, this isn't good, but it's nothing that would get you that much backlash. Personally speaking, I went on Live Leak a lot as a kid, and I saw some very gory stuff. Also, in the animation meme community, gore and bloodshed is just common. So once again, your hatred shouldn't be placed on Cinny, but the entire animation meme community as a whole. Like the fact that people are freaking out going, oh, think of the children, just makes me laugh so hard. If you guys are canceling Cinny for this, then why isn't Jack getting any hate? Look at the end of its video on Cinny. His avatar along with her avatar are stripping while being on poles, and this video wasn't age restricted. Oh, so many minors were exposed to this. But again, at the very worst, this is her being irresponsible, not grooming. Most of the stuff in the doc doesn't really show her doing that much bad stuff at the start. I don't think having your OC in a suggests—
Like, he's muddling the two stories here, the two sets of allegations here, and totally like, I don't even know the fucking point he's trying to make. Where did my fucking tab go as well? Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, I've got fucking AIDS.
something then put it in a video without age restricting it. Sure, the doc does censor out a few things, but it doesn't look like anything that bad was blocked out. Like this image was gore art, not her being topless, or at least that's what I've been told. Yes, her avatar is in underwear, but they're not fully naked. But then you have things that are a little bit worse, like her saying to a 13-year-old that she's looking for a not safe for work chatbot.
That what? Why are you sending this to a kid? Yes, it is grooming. She's participating in the normalization of such ideas. That's not necessarily grooming. That's not necessarily grooming. Grooming is an active process that is taken on to prepare a person for a certain action, whether that's a job or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But in this case, for sex, a child for sex. It's not necessarily grooming just because a child is exposed to it around someone. That is not necessarily grooming. It is an active process.
Was gore art, not her being topless, or at least that's what I've been told. Yes, her avatar is in underwear, but they're not fully naked. But then you have things that are a little bit worse, like her saying to a 13-year-old that she's looking for a not safe for work chatbot to talk to because she's horny.
Run away, I've got to.
Maybe this is just me, but I don't think you need to be telling 15, 14, and 13-year-olds that you're horny. I skimmed over the doc because most of the stuff I saw in it was small potatoes compared to the accusation I heard about her grooming a 14-year-old. Then, when I finally got to the end of the shorter doc, I found out that the bigger and longer doc was the one about the grooming. Now, I want to make this clear. I do not believe Synni is a pedo. She more than likely would have done this with anyone regardless of age. The 14-year-old who made the doc even thinks that this is the case. She was being irresponsible by talking to the 14-year-old this way, but I don't think she was doing it to get with the 14-year-old. Also, I'm gonna be real here. The idea that people are saying Synni is a groomer but not a pedo is absolutely silly.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
How's that silly? What? Most groomers aren't pedophiles. There's not a whole lot of pedophiles, and there's a whole lot of grooming. Also, pedophiles are specifically, if we're being totally specific about it, pedophiles are prepubescent children. Why would you, if you're attracted to prepubescent, you wouldn't groom them, because then you would have to wait. It would take time. They probably wouldn't be prepubescent anymore. Like most groomers probably aren't pedophiles. That probably is the case. Yeah. You don't need a specific illness to end up being a groomer. A specific mental health disorder to end up being a groomer. That's not...
I don't want this pattern to repeat itself. I want to be better. Nothing I do will ever make this right, but I want to make sure it never happens again.
This is wildly irresponsible, it's an optics nightmare, and I don't know why she did this, especially when she made the promise that she wouldn't do this again. However, when you consider the fact that neither I nor the 14-year-old believe that Synni is a pedo, then you have to ask yourself, how is this grooming? If you're not trying to get with someone, you're not grooming them. If you want to hate on Synni for this, that's fine, but she's not a pedo. Now I know what some of you are gonna say. Well, we're not saying she groomed a 14-year-old to get with them, she just groomed a 14-year-old to be more comfortable with conversations like this so she could coom. Don't get me wrong, I thought that at first, but it turns out that the minor was the one being inappropriate first, and she kept on pestering Synni to talk about she groomed a 14-year-old to get with them, she just groomed a 14-year-old to be more comfortable with conversations like this so she could coom. Don't get me wrong, I thought that at first, but it turns out that the minor was the one being inappropriate first, and she kept on pestering Synni to talk about stuff like this. It's also important to note that this minor was a fan of
I mean, like, this is like... Again, this is a fine defense to go against the idea of being grooming, okay? Again, grooming is an active process, okay? There is an active process that has to take place. If each time it's being brought up, it's the kid bringing it up, which it may not necessarily be grooming, but the obvious issue is that the moment a sexual interaction occurs between you and a 14-year-old, as a 20-year-old, you must end that conversation. That must end there. It must not go further, and if it does go further, you are doing something wrong. So even if it's not grooming, you've still done something very wrong that is inappropriate to do with a child. Like, it's not that fucking difficult. I don't know why you would sit here and stake your whole position on this idea. He opens up the video being like, oh, well, if you want to just stay blue-pilled, click off a video. But if you want to take the red pill, I'll show you how deep this rabbit hole goes. As if he's got some crazy fucking evidence to drop, some crazy groundbreaking twist and turn in this story. But it's not the case. You're just saying it's not grooming. It's like, okay, no one's... I think many people are like that crazy married to the grooming label. They're okay to be like, okay, well, maybe it's not grooming, but it is insanely fucking inappropriate. This person should not be around kids, shouldn't have a community where they can access kids. This is not... You should not be engaging in this way. You should be not doing that. Like, the complaint is the same. Regardless with the label there or not, people are aware of the actions that were taken.
Synni's content that includes Scootaloo being in very suggestive outfits, which Synni also made when she was 14. Yes, Synni should not have engaged with this minor. She was the adult in this situation, and what she did was incredibly irresponsible. It also makes her look really sus. But then again, Pyro, when he was an adult, sent a lot of inflation stuff to a minor. He got backlash for what he did, but he did beat the grooming allegations. No, I do not know why she couldn't talk to an adult about this kind of stuff. She brought up that she talked to this 14-year-old because she was as open about not safe for work stuff as she was. And yeah, of course she was. She just started puberty. Yes, Synni knew the minor's age. She asked early in the convo. Sure, she could have forgotten this person's age. I talked to a lot of people myself, and it's no, I do not know why sent a lot of inflation stuff to a minor. He got backlash for what he did, but he did beat the grooming allegations. No, I do not know why she couldn't talk to an adult about this kind of stuff. She brought up that she talked to this 14-year-old because she was as open about not safe for work stuff as she was. And yeah, of course she was. She just started puberty. Yes, Synni knew the minor's age. She asked early in the convo. Yeah, of course she was. She just started puberty. Yes, Synni knew the...
I'm 14. And Soph told me that ever since the situation that happened, you don't want to talk to people who are under the age of 18. I understand if you want to stop talking, lol. Don't cross any boundaries. Want to be silly. Okay, we've seen this before.
Minor's age, she asked early in the convo. Sure, she could have forgotten this person's age. I talk to a lot of people myself, and it's hard to keep track of stuff like this sometimes. But she acknowledged that this person was young a few more times. Then they started to talk about, not safe for work stuff. But none of the not safe for work topics they went over were nearly half as bad as some people made them out to be. Like some of this quote-unquote not safe for work stuff includes lyrics from the song, I like big butts and I cannot lie. I heard that in the Shark Tale movie.
I like square butts and I cannot lie. Hey boss, big butt.
Forget all of this. Forget any of this, any little jokes, any little, you know, funny little things here and there. They were sending Guru art and BDSM art. They were sending some of the most depraved porn. This is shit that, you know, it doesn't even, you don't just stumble across this stuff usually. You gotta be on at least a B or D, you know? You don't stumble. This isn't stuff you just stumble across on the internet. That's not how it goes. You don't just see Guru. This is like extreme stuff. This is the edges, the fringe pornography that is being shown to this child.
But what about the inappropriate pictures, like her sitting on a pile of sand corpses while hugging boy? Is hugging porn now or something? There's also pictures of her in boy and bunny outfits. Woo, so scandalous. None of this stuff is actually hardcore corn. It's also pictures of her of sand corpses.
Like,
Woo, hugging boy. Is hugging porn now or something? There's also pictures of her.
So this is... Wait, okay, so this is the 17-year-old that she was accused of grooming's OC character, OC, who doesn't want her drawing the OC anymore, and she's still drawing that OC, but tied to a pole, and she's hugging him. Like, this is just strange behavior. This is incredibly strange, seemingly obsessive behavior. I don't care about you lewding a miner's OC or whatever the fuck. That's like, who cares? But just the behavior I'm seeing around this is like, why are you still talking about this 17-year-old you used to groom or used to date and got accused of grooming?
Her in boy and bunny outfits. Woo, so scandalous. None of this stuff is actually hardcore corn. It's just softcore corn. For those of you who do not know what softcore corn is, well, think of it like the sexy jutsu from Naruto. Sure, it's a bit risque, but under the law it would not be considered hardcore corn. This kept on escalating until Synny, she sent the same not safe for work essaying comic to this minor, and requested this minor to draw even more corn of the character of Boy and Nightmare Sans. From the censoring job, it looks like a few parts of this comic would have been legally classified as hardcore corn. The absolute essaying comic to this minor, and requested this minor to draw she sent the same not safe for work essaying comic to this minor, and requested this minor to draw even more corn of the character of Boy and Nightmare Sans. From the censoring job, it looks like a few parts of this comic would have been legally classified as hardcore corn. The absolute worst thing Synny sent was this picture of Boy fingering her avatar. However, it should be noted that the doc maker was not the one who censored this out. It was actually Synny herself. When I first saw this, I thought, yeah, Synny's guilty. But when I found out that she censored the worst parts of this comic herself, it made her look far less guilty than I was previously led to believe. I agree that what Synny did was wrong.
I don't think the censoring matters in this case. The censoring seems to me sometimes the censoring would matter. Sometimes I think the censoring would matter. If you were, say, for instance, showing, let's say you're talking to some 17-year-old fucking, let's say Dingo, right? I don't even have Dingo 17 anymore. Let's say Dingo needs some fucking rape review document, and you send him the rape review document and you censor some explicit image in there. That's like you've done the right thing there. But when you're specifically talking about porn in like a context for sexual gratification, and you just like censor the pussy before you send it to the child, that doesn't really make any substantive difference on the action you've taken. It just seems like you're trying to play some legality game, frankly. It seems like you're just worried about sending sexually explicit images to a minor because of the legality.
I agree she was being irresponsible, but I do not think that Synny is a groomer, a pedo, a child predator, or anything like that. After going through both of these massive documents in their entirety, I realized that they're just full of nothing. Oh no, Synny drew a picture of her character in a sexy outfit. Oh no, Synny said I like big butts and cannot let you a minor. If the doc maker had to stretch so much, so many times to make such bad points to paint Synny as a predator, then it stands to reason that it's not a good doc. They clearly didn't know what they were talking about, and they were just grabbing any piece of evidence they could to paint Synny as a groomer. The fact that Jack actually looked at this doc and came to the conclusion that Synny was a groomer is absolutely absolutely insane. After that happened, I believe that Jack convinced Cinny that she actually groomed someone. Then Cinny, feeling bad about it without actually looking at the document, admitted to the allegations. And nothing Cinny did was as bad as what Pyro did. So please tell me why
here's another angle that's not being spoken about here. And Cinny admits this, or Borderline admits this in the call later. Very obvious what was happening in that video. Cinny was saying whatever she felt like she needed to say to get that Jack Birdie person to stay. It seemed pretty manipulative. It seemed like they were just having a breakdown to try and make this person stay and forgive them. That seemed pretty clear to me.
Pass and she's not. Okay, yes, most of the evidence we've seen from Pyro's video shows that he didn't actually know the age of the 15-year-old. Cinny, on the other hand, did, which makes her more guilty than Pyro. But the stuff she sent to Enna wasn't as bad as what Pyro sent to Ivory. Like, it's not even close. Also, Pyro did continue talking to the minor when they turned 16. Now, 16 is the legal age of consent in the UK, so it's really up to you to decide which one was worse.
Well, I just... What was it, 19 and 16, Pyro? Was it a 3-year age gap? Is that correct? Or was it 19 and 14? 19, 15.
I'm really sorry, but
I'm going to kill myself and it's your fault!
Did Cinny really say she was going to kill Jack? Well, yes, but there's some much-needed context that you are missing. First of all, it's sad that people are flipping out over this and taking it so seriously. People have said they're going to kill me on Xbox Live lots of times, and I've done the same. Me and my roommate jokingly say we are going to kill one another all the time. I could tell super early on that the screenshots Jack posted to its Twitter were taken out of context instantly. Here's the context for the first screenshot.
Okay, so this is at the time when Jack is recording the video, right? What the hell? I love Jack so much. What happened? Right now, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. He's framing me as a sex pest.
Yo, so true, Sunday. Great reminder for a shill, actually, which I haven't done all stream so far. Guys, 429 people watching, 61 likes on the stream, meaning there's about 370 people who could be liking the stream right now, but haven't. So if you wouldn't mind doing the bare minimum, not freeloading, moving your cursor, thumbs up and clicking it, or pressing the thumbs up on your mobile device, that'd be hugely appreciated. Thank you for the 5 gifted Sugarlocks. Thank you so much. Now, if you want to take your support further than just liking the stream, which you should be doing right now, okay? Just reminding you guys, you should be doing that right this moment, okay? You can donate directly through a Stream Elements link in the pinned chat message. You can also buy memberships to the channel. You can gift memberships to the channel. Gift a whole bunch of memberships randomly throughout the chat. You can buy a super chat, which will highlight your message and read it out on TTS. Or you can buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or GIF that will be highlighted in chat, and I'll describe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the 1 gifted membership, John Sanchez. Thank you.
Saying I assaulted him by touching his ass and boobs, but I would always ask if it was okay that I did that. And he always said yes. There were times when I poked him in places he didn't like, but I didn't realize it bothered him that much. I thought it was just playful. I don't know.
Oh no, she said she would kill Jack because it was accusing her of SAing because it rescinded its consent, which is something you can't do. Kinda seems weird that Jack rescinded his consent at the absolute perfect time. Sorry, but if you give me or anyone consent, you can't just take it away months later. You can give your consent when something is happening or about to happen, but not months after the fact. I can't believe I have to explain this, but apparently I did. Also, me and my roommate touch one another's asses all the time. It's a form of bonding with guys. If Professor Dreadlock decided to take away his consent...
What is this as well? Touching each other's asses is a form of bonding with guys. I've been roommates or you know, flatmates and shit with guys before. Okay, this has never happened. Okay, we've had lots of bonding experiences. Okay, not one of those, and not that one. That has not been. Like, there are lots of things, like, you know, maybe getting too drunk and having to help the other one home. Or, fuck, man, I don't know. Maybe even, like, we can say the fake gay stuff that guys do in friend groups sometimes. You know what I mean? Where you, like, act gay to try and freak someone out. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sliggins, for 5 gifted, and thank you for the gifted. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, you know, where you try and, like, freak each other out and, like, you... I can maybe see that, but just touching each other's asses, like, I can see it maybe in, like, women's friend groups. Women are a bit more homosexual with their friends. It's a bit more normal for women to be homosexual with their friends. But I've never been in a male friend group where it's been, it's like, haha, we just, like, touch each other's asses. Haha. That's like The fuck are you doing? Thank you for the 5 gifted, Quack. Thank you so much. Huge gifteds in chat right now. Huge, huge gifteds. Patting on the ass is a sports thing, not a roommate thing. Yeah, exactly. Like the pat on the ass, the locker room pat on the ass. Like that makes sense to me. Not roommates. Not roommates. That does not pass the smell test. It's kind of gay, but like there are some kind of gay, you know, like Top Gun. It's Top Gun, you know?
Months after the fact and painted me as a groomer, I would put him 6 feet under. Also before this, Cindy was going over the stuff of her roommate painting her as a groomer. The second screenshot, the one about the gun, was sent after Jack moved out of the house.
Jack made a Twitter thread saying he has more info on me, is making a second video on me. He said he was talking to my friends and coworkers all day and is now staying with my coworkers, I think, but I don't know which ones. He said he's stealing my friends, and he said, live and suffer, Pedo03. After I saw Jack's Twitter thread, I had to leave work early. I bought a knife, pepper spray, and a crowbar to protect myself. I'm thinking about buying a gun too. I screamed at Izzy over the phone when she was trying to comfort me, but I was convinced someone was in my apartment and they were going to kill me as soon as I entered the place. I parked in a neighborhood 30 minutes away from where I live, and Izzy went to my apartment to check all the rooms with Jade. I thought someone was there and would kill her, thinking she was me, and I was so scared to try calling her again. Everything was cleared, though. I came home and checked all my rooms for myself, my pepper spray in hand. I broke down crying, which I saw Stupid. Stupid is the name of the cat, and I slept in my room. I do not blame Cinny for wanting to buy a gun to defend herself when all the internet is, like, wanting her dead, and, like, she's being actively doxxed and people are advocating to kill her.
This was during a time Cinny was getting death threats, and also dealing with people calling her boss, showing that they know where she works, therefore they probably know where she lives. She just brought up that she was getting a gun to defend herself, and that's it. Sorry, but how did you guys fall for this? The entire internet wanted someone dead, and they wanted to defend themselves, but somehow this negatively affects a person who got over $10,000? Let me just make this clear. Jack gets 10K, Cinny gets death threats. She wants to get a gun to defend herself, and then Jack somehow twisted this into a death threat? What? By the way, I just realized this. Jack thought Cinny was a threat to children, so why didn't they call the cops? If I thought Dredd was a threat to kids, you can bet your shiny metal ass I would call 911. I guess asking for money was more important than protecting children.
I am a registered sex.
He was a threat to children, so why didn't they call the cops? If I thought Dredd was a threat to kids, you can bet your shiny metal ass I would call 911. I guess asking for money was more important than protecting children.
I am a registered.
I mean, sure, yeah, but I think that's a fair complaint, is to say about Jack for sure, that if you really believed this about Cinny, you would call the police. Yeah, I think that's a fair point, but again, I don't think this is like so irrelevant, right? The validity of the character or validity of the story of an accuser only matters when you don't have the evidence. If you've got all the evidence there, if you can see every interaction that happened between these two people, why the fuck would I care about anyone's credibility? I can look myself. I can see it.
Sex offender, I stuck my dick into a blender.
Much like Hopeless Peaches, Cindy rushed her response to everything, and it was not a good response at all. It did change a few minds, but for the most part, it increased the backlash she got. This response would have worked if she made it without apologizing beforehand, and before Jack made its video. But at this point, the mob is too riled up to listen to her. She needed to treat this like how Pyro treated his video, or how Peaches handled her second video, but she made it as if it was just another video, and that's not a good thing. When you hear the call with me and her, you will see that she did not take my advice on how to go about this. She thought she didn't have to go over the doc because other people didn't go over it, but the thing is—
Oh, I can't imagine why! Can't imagine why I shouldn't take your advice, Jar. You seem like such a fucking smart, put-together guy. Why would she not listen to you?
At this point, the mob is too riled up to listen to her. She needed to treat this like how Pyro treated his video, or how Peaches handled her second video, but she made it as if it was just another video, and that's not a good thing. When you hear the call with me and her, you will see that she did not take my advice on how to go about this. She thought she didn't have to go over the doc because other people didn't go over it, but the thing is, this is the internet, not a court of law. On the internet, it's guilty until proven innocent. Also, monetizing the video and uploading it at 5 AM was not a smart move. That being said, the amount of people commenting that they will not watch the video is dumb. If you are too scared to watch it, then you don't fully believe in what you are saying.
Talk about me and the victims. My thing and the victims.
One thing that really shocked me about this whole drama is the amount of people treating this like it's Cinny versus Jack, but they seem to forget about Enno. I think they are left out because they aren't a public figure, so most people just don't care about them. Let's be honest here, Jack made the video about itself, not the minor. The minor got nothing, and Jack got over $10,000. People are saying poor Jack a lot more than poor Enno. Guys, Jack is a person with autism and BPD, and they grew up getting bashed by the entire internet, which more than likely had an effect on its development. Oh, and also they go by it pronouns, which is not a normal thing, even by trans standards. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say that it's best not to take it at its word and give it over $10,000 in...
This is nothing I don't get. This guy and Kumo, both saying they want to go after Jack. Why not just go after Jack? Why are you defending Synny? Just go after Jack. You don't have to defend Synny to go after Jack. You can say, well, Synny was inappropriate with this kid, and then you grifted $10,000 off of it, $10,000 off of it, because you're a fucking loser. You're a loser fucking bed blob, social security fucking drain, fucking disabled freak, loser, transgender. Just go in on Jack. There's no need to defend Synny.
3 days. By the way, I'm going off topic for this, but if anyone is going to try to make the allegation that I'm simping for Synny, I'm not the one giving people $10,000. Giving money to people is closer to simp behavior than not giving them any money at all. I recall people saying poor creepshow art during the Peaches drama. That drama involved a woman with black and orange hair getting thousands of dollars for going after a blonde girl for things that were mostly false, but a few things were true. But the things that were true were blown way out of proportion. And now the same thing is happening again, almost the exact same way. Talk about deja vu. I can't believe I'm having art during the Peaches drama. That drama involved a woman with black and orange hair getting thousands of dollars for going after a blonde girl for things that were mostly false, but a few things were true. But the things that were true were blown way out of proportion. And now the same thing is happening again, almost the exact same way. Talk about deja vu. I can't believe I'm having to do the same thing I did a few years ago. One of the people I defended Peaches from was Camilla, someone who was obsessed with Undertale, and Synny is also obsessed with Undertale. Am I in a time loop? After looking over everything in more depth than 99% of people talking about this, I can safely say that this drama was blown up to a level that it had no business getting to. I love how people would try to debunk me on Twitter by sending me the doc they didn't read.
Is this just what this guy does then? He just picks fucking women to try and defend online? That's very sad. Very sad that this guy does that. He's chosen that life for himself. That's very unfortunate. My heart breaks.
I think the irony was lost on them. The commentary community's coverage of this entire drama was absolutely gross. You guys really need to stop spreading what is currently the popular opinion without looking into things deeper. Face the facts. Synny already quote-unquote admitted to it. You weren't making videos on her to spread the word around. You were just doing it to get a quick buck. You weren't concerned about the safety of minors. You were concerned about getting clout. You guys should have learned your lesson from the Peaches drama, the Spoctor drama, the Dream and John Swan drama, the Pyrocynical drama, and more. But you people keep making the same mistake of jumping on a bandwagon too fast over and over again. I do believe Synny did bad things. She needed to be called out for them, but she did not groom anyone, and she's not a pedo. If you guys seriously believe that Synny sent a minor then you would also be at fault for linking the doc with a quote-unquote on yourself. If you did not age restrict your video, then so many minors had access to the quote-unquote. Some of you may say that what she did was wrong enough for you to never watch her again. If that is how you feel, then that's okay. But don't make up stuff like, she sent nudes to a minor, she's a pedo, or she groomed someone, because none of that is true. I've checked multiple different definitions for grooming. What Synny did doesn't fit any of them. Sure, what she did is what a lot of groomers do when they start grooming, but they tend to escalate things, and she didn't escalate things for 6 months. Or, who knows, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't actually know what grooming is. I know the RCC is more than likely going to try to use this video against me. They are going to paint me as someone who is okay with degenerate stuff being shown to kids, or that I'm defending a groomer. Both things that aren't true, as I've proven in this video. I said what Synny did wasn't okay, and I showed that she isn't a groomer. What Synny did was wrong. What she did was irresponsible. However, whatever punishment you think she deserves, I believe she already got it. Now, if you are one of the people who made a video on Synny, and you disagree with things I'm saying in this video, then let's have a debate. It just seems a little strange to me to make a video on someone without reaching out to them. Oh wait, you guys already did that. I, along with Kumo, were the only two who reached out. I know a lot of people won't watch this video, so if you are going to disagree with me, please put hashtag pineapple soda in your comment. All one word, by the way. If you don't, then I know you were too scared to have your opinion challenged. I've made videos on predators before, and I've
Like, dude, this tactic is so gay as well. Dude, people used to do this on forums to make sure you'd read the entire fucking post. They used to do this on... That's like how old this fucking gay tactic is. It's so fucking stupid.
Uploaded more than one video bashing cuties. I've won almost every single drama I've been in, even when I was on the losing side. I'm sure people are going to say I'm reviving the drama, or that I'm doing this for money or something. But even if that is true, it doesn't debunk anything I'm saying. People will more than likely bring up the Toby drama, but last time I checked, every single video...
It's like, does he think that someone... I guarantee... How many people do you think in those comments, when he was arguing with people in the comments on his video, how many people do you think he went, oh, you didn't say that, you didn't say the safe word, you didn't say the safe word. And then they immediately just go to the transcript and type in whole video and look for where he says, oh, well, to prove you've seen the whole video, make sure you say pineapple soda. How many of them do you think just did that in response to him saying that shit? It must have been 5+.
video covering my Toby video is gone. Every last one of them. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared of the backlash I'll get from uploading this video. Both my roommate and my girlfriend try to talk me out of uploading it. They think I'm right, but they don't want to see me fight for so long and so hard like I did in the Peaches drama. By the way, Peaches is someone that became a bad person after everything I did for them, so I don't know if Synni will end up the same way or not, but I have to do what I think is right. Who knows, maybe I'm the one in the wrong, but I still feel like I have to do this. A lot of people could have done this video better than me, and hopefully they will, now that I've shown them the ropes. But if I am in the right, the next time something like this happens, can you guys please not say, "Ja, you were right about every other drama, but this time you're wrong," before my video even comes out. That being said, I am not confident that this video will go over well once I upload it. The good news is I don't have to worry about people like Prison Mate Luke coming in and making things worse, but I also can't get help from people like Lio, Peaches, and Doodletones. The last two left YouTube and Lio's reputation is in the dirt, but I do believe they would have been more skeptical about this drama than most people. In many ways, this is like all the big dramas that have ever happened in the commentary community all at once. Just like Spoctor, Synni admitted to it. Just like Peaches, she made a bad first response. And just like Pyro, people painted her as a groomer when she wasn't one. Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, this drama has now gotten so big that people outside the ArtCC are talking about it, and a lot of non-ArtCC people don't think that she's a groomer. Who knows, maybe I'm the one in the wrong. But after seeing what happened in the Spoctor, the Peaches, and the Pyro dramas, I just think we should be at least a little bit more skeptical. Please, do not take my word for this. Do your own research and look into these documents a little bit more carefully. And once again, I want to make this clear. Synni is being irresponsible, but in my book, she's not a groomer. Anyways, let's get into the edited down version of the interview I had with Synni. Hello, can you hear me?